Whenever a community starts to form around a certain topic on the internet, a handful of degenerate people are bound to eventually weasel their way into it. Even if your community is cultivating around some really positive and wholesome topic like gardening, yoga or weight loss, eventually a few unhinged people will join the space nevertheless, and worst case scenario, these people could even achieve moderate success in the field. Now this is especially true regarding video game communities, but one community that features an unusually high amount of just straight up deranged people who somehow managed to gain some sort of following online is the Dead by Daylight community. Now in today's video I want to go over some of the most vile and despicable content creators in this sphere, investigate how they built their platform, and try to figure out why the Dead by Daylight community specifically, compared to other video games, shelters so many deranged figures. These are the Dead by Daylight Degenerates.
You have been completely emasculated by your woke propaganda you're trying to push.
So last week I made a video about one of the most delusional content creators in this community, Void Todos. Go watch that if you haven't already. And I honestly perceived him as the alpha degenerate of Dead by Daylight. However, what I didn't expect was how many other insane content creator goons he had backing him. Somehow there's a whole squad of channels with a few thousand subs surrounding Void Todos who are all genuinely some of the most deranged content creators I have ever seen in my time on YouTube. Now one of them is a guy going by the name of Letter Shor who actually commented under my Void Todos video. Void is peak masculinity. Void is a patriot, solid dude. Now I don't want to step on any toes here, but for me a positive male role model is someone like Joey Swole. You know, someone who actually inspires his audience to do good. If the guy who uses his platform to impersonate random Twitch streamers and who gets off on killing gay people in Dead by Daylight is peak masculinity to you, then you're probably also the type of person who considers Andrew Tate a role model. Anyway, I then responded to his unhinged statement. You can pause the video to read through it if you like, and he quickly hit back with another comment, where he promptly told me that I am a cloud demon, that my video added nothing, that I just hate Void because that's the cool thing to do, and that I am not even worth Void's time. Now what all of these Dead by Daylight degenerates have in common is that they perceive themselves as far more relevant than they actually are. Most of them have a couple thousand of subs, which is respectable for sure, but they think of themselves as massive influencers. These people are convinced that their critics are just clout chasers, as if they themselves have any clout to begin with. The truth is Void is not that known. When I made my video about him, none of my friends knew Void. People that reacted to my video didn't know who he was, and most importantly, a lot of my audience also didn't know him. But let's say everyone throughout the universe is familiar with Void. Even then my video is still valid, because one, it documents Void's career online, and two, I talked about a lot of his history that hadn't been properly covered by anyone before me, such as for instance my investigation into the claim that Void faked a fire. Now I then responded to his comment basically just defending my video and calling him Dead by Daylight's version of the codering, and at this point another commenter actually pointed out that this Shor guy does make YouTube videos and apparently has quite a questionable reputation in the space. So I looked at his channel and I actually thought it might be satire, because just look at his videos. Dead by Daylight has gone full woke. SpooknJukes has gone full woke. I genuinely thought that this has to be satire. Like the way he frames these videos is just so outrageous, and the live streams as well. The thumbnails look just so bizarre to me. Anyway, so he then responded by linking me a video his friend made exposing SpooknJukes, and we'll get into this friend later, but notice how he didn't address any of my arguments and just started talking about something completely unrelated. Now our interaction ended with him spurging out and fighting with random commenters, but through this one interaction with me he actually got so pissed at me specifically that he decided to respond in his next live stream.
I had this one content creator who's like another drama channel who's really small, he's like foreign. I talked about yesterday, he made a video about Void and I sent it to him, and Void laughed and said the dude's way too small for me to even care to comment. And the dude like looked at my channel and he was like, I heard about you. He's like, you're the DBD equivalent, like the DBD's version of the quartering. Which, that's like kind of like a compliment. So you're saying I'm a mentally sane individual.
I can't lie, when I wrote that comment I actually sat in the subway next to my roommate who had just seen my video, and I did ask him if I call this guy Dead by Daylight's version of the codering, he wouldn't be dumb enough to take that as a compliment, right? And he assured me nah, there's no way anyone would take a decodering comparison as a compliment. But he actually did. This is so incredibly funny to me. Listen, it's no secret that I heavily dislike all of the big political YouTubers, Destiny, Hassan, H3H3, Wash. I perceive all of these people as either unhinged, grifters, hypocrites, or just straight up terminally online liars who only care about fitting everything into their narrative. But I feel like the quartering is the absolute worst of these people. Like, at the very least, I can understand why someone would watch Hassan or Destiny. Don't get me wrong, if you see these people as intellectuals, I highly question your mental capabilities, but I at least understand the entertainment value. However, with the quartering, I have never even met a real viewer of that guy. Like, his content is actually unwatchable to me. He just reads news articles with no effort. He's extremely hypocritical. He's constantly complaining about people bringing up some of his old tweets, yet he makes videos trying to cancel Hollywood actors for their old tweets, which is incredibly ironic considering he claims to hate cancel culture so much. He's been exposed for not actually owning the coffee brand he promotes. He peed in his basement on stream, announced himself as the new owner of Twitter once. Like, this guy is genuinely unhinged, and the fact that Shor supports him already tells me everything I need to know. Alright, so next, Shor uses a classic lolcow defense method. See, if you ever find yourself trying to respond to a Materwelon video but you're unable to make actual arguments because you're clearly in the wrong, just try this amazing strategy that has been utilized by multiple Dead by Daylight lolcows before. Just argue against points I didn't even make.
I immediately sent it to Void on Discord because I wanted him to, like, know. And he literally was like, I'm not even bothering responding to it. He said the guy's such a small channel, he's irrelevant. And it's funny, they all make a video about the same videos about Void. I'm like, your video adds nothing. The same, oh, he faked the fire. He caused the fire. He tried to rage hack and then his cheats got countered by a locker. It's literally the same topics. Like, dude, get a new talking point.
Again, in my video, I pulled up a fire report which actually showcased that Void Todos did not fake the fire, which was an incredibly unpopular opinion to hold. Cause going by the like ratio on Twitter, everyone believed the accusation that Void pulled the fire alarm himself. So I could have just said that he faked the fire like everyone else did and gotten universal support. However, I actually instead went through the effort of finding out the truth, and I then took an extremely unpopular stance. But Shor still just wants his audience to believe that I told everyone Void faked a fire, which is not at all what I said, and the whole part about my video being redundant is just more cope, because I haven't found anyone that has made a comprehensive video about Void's history on YouTube. So how am I repeating other YouTubers' talking points when there's no one that ever took a full look at Void's story before me? His arguments just don't make any sense, which is quite typical for his channel. Now, the best way I could describe this guy's actual content in one sentence would be right-wing grift meets Dead by Daylight. He seems to be fundamentally opposed to anything that's even remotely left-wing. His content features frequent hostility towards the LGBTQ community, and of course he calls anyone that he doesn't like a liberal. For instance, Shor exclusively plays the killer role in Dead by Daylight and has developed a sort of us versus them mentality, viewing survivor players as nothing but entitled liberals.
Behavior seems to have a problem where they have to nerf every single killer strategy that works into the ground and not offer a substitute. And then when killers find something that sort of works, the blue-haired liberal survivors complain again instead of getting good and adapting, and it gets nerfed.
Now, I do kind of believe that this mindset of just exclusively sticking to one role and hating on everyone who plays anything else is really unhealthy, but what I find even more ridiculous is his reaction to new content releasing. Obviously, he immediately calls it woke, but he then also dropped this iconic line.
Why is he so zesty? Why does he have the purple hair? Like, this is supposed to be a horror game. It's supposed to be scary. This rift isn't scary in the slightest. It's whack. Like, I'm not even being homophobic. This rift is just gay.
I'm not even being homophobic. This is just gay. Yeah, this guy calls everything and everyone either gay or a liberal or both. Therefore, he's heavily pandering to a right-wing audience. I actually really enjoyed watching his reaction to a new skin for a female character coming out.
This is fucking weird. It makes me uncomfortable. I've never been uncomfortable looking at his skin. I'm just like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah, you can see some skin there. I'm not at all surprised that this makes him uncomfortable, because this guy gives off the vibe that he doesn't actually like women revealing their skin, if you know what I mean. Because his whole stick about being masculine and fighting off these woke gay people kind of seems like projection to me. Like, it feels like he's not comfortable with himself in a way. This became really evident during his beef with SpooknJukes, who for some reason keeps on getting involved with these deranged people. Now, during Shor's response video, which he put put zero effort into, by the way, because he just watches SpooknJukes video on his phone and speaks over him without even pausing it. He had this to say about masculinity.
If you can't talk in your normal voice without having to talk like, hello? If you have to talk like that, don't talk to me, because I'm not a simp. SpooknJukes probably loves it. He'll probably fucking nut over that, but not me. I don't like that. I'm actually a masculine man. I know Spook is a simp. I'm sure his wife has a boyfriend or whatever. I'm sure that's his fucking thing, and he likes being a simp. I'm not a simp. I'm actually a masculine man. I work out, you know what I mean? I build shit with my hands. I watch football. Everything men do, I do. Spooks doesn't do that. He doesn't want to break a nail.
This guy is definitely insecure about his masculinity. Like, he has to remind everyone all the time that he's masculine. He can't just let people perceive him as manly. This is so weird to me, especially since a common thing he does is he ends videos with just moaning into the microphone.
Love you.
Yeah, you're being real masculine there, buddy. I can't think of anything more manly than loudly moaning into your mic. Well, except for maybe feeling uncomfortable upon seeing a sparsely dressed woman. Like, everything about this anti-gay stuff just screams projection to me. I mean, he must have searched through a bunch of interesting pictures of femboys and men wearing leather for his thumbnails, and I feel like this guy probably enjoyed what he was looking at, if you know what I mean. Actually, do you know the story of that one vehemently anti-gay senator who got caught sleeping with 94 men? I feel like this guy is his DBD equivalent. Like, at some point we'll see a video titled how an anti-gay Dead by Daylight YouTuber got caught with 94 gigabytes of femboy porn on his hard drive. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So this Shor guy beefed with SpooknJukes over a real nothing burger, to be honest. SpooknJukes just complained about Shor being toxic towards another streamer on his live stream, and my take on this is that unless you're going into another streamer's chat, attacking them relentlessly or pulling up their stream to publicly shame them, I don't really care. Just him being toxic in-game towards other people on his own stream is something I really don't think is worth wasting a video on. So all Shor had to do in his response was just say, hey, you all really shouldn't care about this. But instead he drops this 30-minute video where he in fairness does say that this is a nothing burger, but he then also spews some of the most unhinged arguments I have ever heard in my life. His main point against SpooknJukes is literally that he needs to go to the gym.
Go to the gym, bro. You should try it, Spooks. You'll feel better. You raise up them T levels, you're not so miserable anymore, dude. It's weird. You go outside, you get some vitamin D, your T levels go up, you work out, dude, you feel great about yourself. You should try it. You wouldn't be shedding your uterine wall as much if you went to the gym and actually worked out. You'd feel good about yourself. If anyone's insecure about their masculinity, Spooks, it is you. You have been completely emasculated by your woke propaganda you're trying to push, and just looking at a quick little visual check, you're completely emasculated. Like I said before, if you went to the gym and worked out and actually put on some muscle and went outside, got some vitamin D, I guarantee you your viewpoints on this woke nonsense you're fucking spewing would change. You'd be like, oh shit, I do see the light. Oh, what am I doing? Spooks, you gotta join a gym, dude. You gotta get some T levels up, bro. This is why you're so miserable and angry all the fucking time.
Listen, I am a big supporter of anonymity on the internet. I am quite fond of the concept of someone being able to just exist as a voice of the people without having to reveal their identity. However, if you're ripping into another person this much, in my opinion, you then gotta at least show people what you look like. Cause for all we know, you might be sitting in a massive glass house. By the way, I looked at SpooknJukes content and he did actually do a fitness journey a while back, and I low-key feel like he's not even like out of shape really. Like, SpooknJukes literally just looks like the average person I would see on the street back when I lived in Minnesota. So the whole go to the gym bro, you're completely emasculated thing seems like pure cope. In general, I feel like Shor should move platforms to Instagram Reels, cause apart from telling people to go to the gym, his other strategy is to turn everything his detractors say into a political statement.
Like, you can tell SpooknJukes is the type of person that when he goes up to a black person, he puts their hand on their chest and like cries for them and says, "You're oppressed." Like, oh my god, this is racist. Like, SpooknJukes definitely takes a moment each morning to acknowledge his white privilege before he does anything. I don't get this guy, why he keeps talking about that, his weird obsession and hatred over straight white men. I don't get it. This is also the same group of people that thinks biological men should be able to compete in female sports and use female bathrooms. It's the same group, by the way. It's just the delusion. Like, I hate to get political, but this is what I'm up against right now. The logic. And I know Spooks 100% believes in that, 100%. There's allowed to be pride flags. You can have pride for that, your sexuality, but why can't I have pride for my nation? Why isn't there an American flag? This is, look, see, he's not a patriot or he doesn't have any nationalism. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's sad in America. You can't be prideful about your nation because apparently to woke people, America is bad, the flag. If America's so bad, why are you still here? Leave.
Now this is an obvious grifter tactic. Everyone that disagrees with Shor or that Shor dislikes is woke and a liberal. SpooknJukes, woke. Survivors, woke. Actually putting effort into your videos, woke. Now this narrative that Shor is fighting this uphill battle against blue-haired liberals features in almost every single one of his videos. It's pretty much all he talks about. So overall his content is not just disgustingly low effort, but also extremely biased in favor of anything and everything conservative. Now Shor is the type of person who will most likely respond to my video, so let me be clear, Shor. I am not calling you a bigot, I am not calling you a sexist, an incel, or whatever it is people typically call you. So you absolutely cannot paint me as some woke blue-haired liberal. All that I'm saying is that you're insecure, you're an idiot, your content is garbage, and I mean this in the least offensive way possible. I think you're gay. Now before we get into the next person, quick reminder, I'm trying to crawl my way to 1.3k subs, so if you're enjoying the content then please subscribe, it would absolutely mean the world to me. Anyway, back to the video.
I don't have any more time anymore, and I'm not running away. I just cooked your ass, so goodbye.
Now let's get into Boogie Woogie 94. I honestly think Boogie's entire channel is just a giant social experiment aiming to answer the question, what's the least amount of effort you can possibly put into your content and still get views? Cause this guy somehow sits at over 1.2k subs despite never even uploading a video or opening an editing program in his life. Every single piece of content he's ever released just consists of him pressing start stream on OBS and then just schizophrenically rambling about a random topic or raging while playing Dead by Daylight. All of his so-called exposed videos are just him spurging out at random people in the community. Now Boogie has had to open up new channels a bunch of times because he keeps getting banned for hateful conduct. All he does is just shout at people uncontrollably while playing Dead by Daylight, and he's blaming his own failures on the LGBT community. The only reason people even know this guy is because another YouTuber called SkyFaction made a video calling him out for his toxic behavior, and this video basically buried any chance Boogie had of becoming an actual content creator, because it's essentially a 15-minute exhibition of Boogie's constant insulting, harassing, and reporting of people in Dead by Daylight.
He's not doing fucking anything. I'm about to report his useless ass. Asshole, you're gonna get reported. And nobody's on gens when they're not being chased. Cheat right there. Yep, and he's gonna get reported.
Now, I highly recommend you give this video a watch. It's extremely entertaining, and I think the title of the video is just perfect. Like, it's 100% accurate. Boogie is a streamer who just downright hates DBD, even though he plays it every single day, live for hours on end. Like, he just constantly loses his mind while playing the game, he blames all the other players, he calls them slurs, he's sexist, homophobic, etc., all while streaming it live to a bunch of people who are just here to see the train wreck. This guy's entire existence is just honestly sad. I mean, the SkyFaction video went mega viral, sitting at almost 1 million views, so it literally exposed 1 million people to a lol cow in the making, and this threw Boogie's channel into absolute chaos, as he now found himself surrounded by a bunch of people just constantly making fun of him, but he just kept on going and just continued to further humiliate himself online. Like with some of the people I talked about previously on my channel, you could sort of see them as lol cows because a lot of their so-called fans were just watching them for their angry reaction to trolls, but with Boogie, he is genuinely 100% a lol cow. He's not even at 2k subs, yet he already has channels dedicated to clipping some of his lowest moments.
I wish women were just like, oh, I just want to have sex. That's it.
I watched one of his streams and I honestly haven't seen a single positive comment. The people watching are just making fun of him and calling him out for his low effort, lazy content. I genuinely think this man has no actual fans despite having over 1k subs. That's how pathetic his internet existence really is. Now, the one thing I will give Boogie over Shor and Void is he's not a grifter. This guy genuinely believes in what he's saying. But then again, it's heavily debatable whether that's even a positive, considering this guy is vehemently anti-LGBT, accusing the entire LGBT community of being a cult in some of his videos, which again is just unhinged. Now, even though Boogie is so openly against the LGBT community, he actually got exposed for having a secret alt account on Kick where he's using a voice changer to pretend to be a female streamer.
You're not that good. Have the proxy camp and tunnel like a troll. Yeah, he's definitely gonna get reported. Now he's being a disgusting little perv. Oh, I think you know because you're proxy camping, toxic behavior, unsportsmanlike, and you're a disgusting pervert. Get off my channel.
Oh, what a surprise! The vehemently anti-LGBTQ guy actually participates in the same activities he himself deemed as immoral. Where have I seen that one before? Anyway, so just like with Shor, I think Boogie also has some severe issues. He's probably struggling to cope with his own identity and therefore just wants to put others down so that he can feel better about himself. In my opinion, this is just disgusting behavior, and I really believe someone in his real life needs to step in and get him some help, because Boogie seems to genuinely be determined to keep on humiliating himself online, which I don't understand. See, if something this embarrassing happened to me, I would give up, I would leave, I would never be seen on YouTube again. But Boogie, he comes back for round 2 and then he comes back for round 3 and then he just keeps on going, and every time he crashes out and humiliates himself even further. Now, after his secret alt account got exposed, he decided his next course of action would be to publicly debate SpooknJukes about it, therefore bringing even more attention to the controversy. Now, I forced myself to sit through this whole debate, and Boogie comes across as genuinely insane. He makes no actual arguments, he just rambles on about the LGBT community being evil. He's getting completely owned by SpooknJukes out of all people, and his panic-fueled crash out at the end of the debate is just actual comedic gold.
We didn't even get to all those claims you made about my videos and shaming smaller streamers and all that. We didn't talk about any of that. So I was going to talk about that.
Well, I don't have any more time anymore, and I'm not running away. I just cooked your ass, so goodbye.
I just cooked your ass, so goodbye, he says after getting absolutely destroyed for almost an hour. I heavily recommend watching this debate to anyone who's into lolcow content. It's one of the most unintentionally hilarious conversations you'll ever listen to. Now, I could also dive into Boogie's deranged Twitter account where he lusts over random OnlyFans girls and thinks he actually has a chance with them, but instead I want to focus on something else. Quick reminder, this Boogie guy is the person Shor claims exposed SpooknJukes and who Shor also considers to be a friend. Now, this should tell you a lot about who Shor is as a person, but just to be fair here, I want to briefly touch on this so-called exposed video that Shor wants me to watch and see if it's any good. Spoiler alert, it's not. So in this video, he mainly covers void totals and his history of failed debates with SpooknJukes, which I referenced during my void video. Now, Boogie goes through leaked DMs and a conversation he had with SpooknJukes in the YouTube comment section. His main arguments during this exposed video are that 1. SpooknJukes keeps on dodging a debate with Void because he's afraid of him and knows he will get destroyed, and 2. that SpooknJukes is harassing Void by continuously asking him to debate, even though Void clearly doesn't want to.
If you think you won all the debates, why wouldn't you have a problem debating Void's totals live? Excellent point. If he's so cocky and he has no problem debate people, then he should have no problem debating Void's live this Tuesday. So what's his excuse? Brother, I don't care. Have a good one. But he keeps on going. Like, Voids did not reply, and now Spook is still, you know, at this point, it's kind of like harassing him.
And I feel like I'm talking to an actual toddler here. Listen, you cannot argue that SpooknJukes is afraid to debate Void and simultaneously also accuse him of harassing Void by constantly sending him debate invitations. That is an obvious contradiction. Your main arguments blatantly contradict each other. This guy doesn't think while making exposed videos, he just rambles incoherently, and that's how he ends up with insane arguments like these. Overall, this video is a real nothing burger. I grabbed the full chat logs from Boogie's low quality upload, and there's really nothing out of the ordinary going on. It's just SpooknJukes and Void going back and forth on whether or not they'll have a debate. Boogie's video doesn't expose anything. Also, he's literally sitting in a glass house yet again, because one of his points against SpooknJukes is that he apparently dressed up as a woman once.
For anyone else getting into it with this man who likes to dress as a woman, which is true, I actually have seen a photo of SpooknJukes dress up as the Spirit from Dead by Daylight, so he is actually wearing a women's costume, which is quite cringy as hell.
Now, I couldn't find a picture of SpooknJukes dressed as a woman, but even if SpooknJukes cross-dresses every single day, why would you have a problem with him doing that? You've literally been exposed for pretending to be a woman on your alt account. This is so deranged, like he's showing clear hypocrisy here. Now, Boogie also blatantly lies to his audience, because one of the things he brings up during the video is that during the fire incident I went over in my Void Totals upload, Void claimed that there were multiple injured people who had been taken to the hospital due to the fire breaking out.
And it says nobody got lit on fire. Dude, somebody got burned from a grease fire and was sent to the hospital, motherfucker. Yeah, somebody accidentally got burned.
Now, I have confirmed that this is a lie in my last video when I went over the official fire report. There were no people injured during this fire, which Boogie knows because he's streaming this right after I dropped my video. But obviously he's just ignoring that information because it doesn't fit his narrative. I think it's fair to say that Boogie's video can be seen as just the insane ramblings of a deeply insecure man, because he brings no actual valid arguments to the table, and it's honestly insane to me that Shor referred me to this as if it would disprove any of the points I brought up in my original video. Like, Boogie's expose literally had almost nothing to do with what I talked about in my upload. Now, I was originally gonna cover a third person, but the more I looked into him, the more I realized that he's just a hybrid of both Shor and Boogie. So I instead decided to dedicate the last part of the video to trying to figure out why these people thrive in the DBD community and how they should be dealt with. Now, I am referring to Void and Shor here specifically because Boogie is just obviously insane. Like, he would have become a lol cow in any community, but Shor and Void are both two very obviously awful people who, despite some of their bizarre actions, have managed to build themselves a core community of a few thousand subs. Now again, this whole last section is gonna be just my opinion. As usual, my take is really controversial. You might heavily disagree with me here, and I'm actually really interested in what people think about this in the comments. So please, if you find yourself believing that my arguments are wrong, let me know why down below. I genuinely want to hear it. I think the real reason people like Void and Shor thrive has to do with how the community reacted to them. Now, it's no secret that Dead by Daylight, like most games, has a community accepting of all things LGBTQ, and in my opinion that's exactly how it should be. However, there's a lot of people that disagree with this. Now, I think where DBD YouTubers really messed up is by engaging with these people's political talking points. People like Void and Shor came into this community with the single goal of garnering a right-wing audience. So what YouTubers like SpooknJukes unintentionally did by reacting to their insane political statements is bring attention to them. This is why there's a link between bigger YouTubers making videos about Void and Void's channel growing. I think DBD is such a naturally left-wing game that most of the right-wing people who disagreed with that line of thinking ended up just playing the game without interacting much with the community because they simply didn't fit in. But a lot of these players then saw Void or Shor appear on other YouTubers' channels and found themselves agreeing with some of their political sentiments because Void and Shor very obviously pander to conservatives, and then these people rallied behind their channels, which is why they now have a following, and Void is even able to do this full time. I think the proper way to deal with these people as a big creator with a lot of reach is to not give their political arguments any attention. Just focus on their embarrassing moments and publicly humiliate them to your audience instead of trying to debate them on their political beliefs. Like all of these SpooknJukes debates, while they're hilarious to watch, at the end of the day lead to these guys getting more attention that they most definitely do not deserve. Because even if you completely debunk all of their idiotic political beliefs, there's still gonna be people who won't listen to facts and logic and join their side because they've just been brainwashed by their ideology. So the best thing that you as a creator could do to combat their growth is just ignoring their political arguments outright. I know that there's an argument to be made that I should defend gay people from a homophobic YouTuber, and I understand that, but unfortunately history has shown that engaging with or even acknowledging their political beliefs results in the other party gaining attention. So in my opinion, it's just better to not address it. Even if someone like SpooknJukes completely dismantles Shor's arguments on the LGBTQ community and 99% of his audience agrees with him, there's still gonna be that 1%, and those 1% in SpooknJukes' case, based on his viewership, would be over 1,000 people that could potentially flood over to Shor's community, and I think that's something we should aim to avoid. So yeah, I am saying that the way Dead by Daylight YouTubers interacted with these people has led to them being able to build a community. Now of course I am not blaming people like SpooknJukes for this, because they went into this with good intentions. They just wanted to call out creators who they perceived as harmful. I don't think it's fair to criticize them for this, but it has unfortunately resulted in people like Shor being able to grow a platform, which I do see as an overall net negative for the community. Now before I end this, I want to address two more important things. Firstly, some people might say you should just ignore them outright, and I agreed with this at first, but I think now it's kind of too late for that. Like Void and Shor already have their platforms, and Void in particular uses it to actively harass other streamers. So I think just ignoring him outright would lead to him being able to get away with harassing people. And secondly, I just argued that you shouldn't engage with these people's political opinions, yet I also spent half of my video calling their ideology stupid. Wouldn't that make me a hypocrite? Now I think that's a fair observation, but my point here is that these people grew their platforms through bigger YouTubers engaging with them. I am just some guy with 1k subs who gets 300 views each video, and I genuinely appreciate every single viewer I have, but even if 1% of my audience went over to these people's site, that would literally only equate to like 3 people. Like, I am the smaller channel here. If someone like Shor invited me for a debate, I would be the one who benefits through gaining exposure, not him. So I don't think I'm giving these people real attention here, but again, it's a fair point to make. Now overall, the Dead by Daylight Degenerates are a real bunch of, well, lunatics, and it's been quite interesting looking into their history. Now I might end up doing a part 2 if this video does well, so please drop a like if you enjoyed, sub to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next one.